U.S. and Israel attacks on Iran continues while TRMP says that U.S. has decimated Iran's Navy and Air Force and there are no targets left there, and added, "We have one in Iran." According to IRIB reported in Day12 News, about 20,000 buildings in Iran has been hit by U.S. and Israeli bombs killing more than 1,300 civilians, including 168 elementary school girls. Most of these are residential and commercial buildings. Iran says it has not run out of targets in Israel and the Middle East. On March 12, 26, Iran launched 3 separate waves of attacks on U.S. and Israeli targets, which it claimed to be 10 times larger than the targets available to its enemies, adding that U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iranian civilians and infrastructure will not go unanswered. 7 American servicemen have died and 140 have been injured so far. 28 people including 1 soldier have been killed in Israel while 3,238 have been hospitalized. Iran claims that the missiles it's firing at Israeli and U.S. targets are so fast that it does not have adequate time for air defenses to react. Fox News reported Iranian attacks on Tel Aviv with cluster missiles that is difficult to intercept. They could not show the targets due to restrictions by Israeli authorities. Saudi Arabia reported that it had intercepted 7 missiles, most heading to the Prince Sultan Air Base. 2 drone hits areas nearby Dubai Airport. Bahrain's Interior Ministry said early Thursday morning that Iran had targeted fuel tanks in Moharek Governorate, northeast of the country's capital, Manama. Iraq's military group Saraya Aliyah al-Dam later claimed 7 attacks targeted U.S. military bases across the country. A key American diplomatic support center in Iraq was hit likely either by Iranian or Iran-baked militias drones. An IRGC spokesperson said that any cargo or oil shipment destined to United States, the Zionist regime or their hostile partners will be considered a legitimate target. 2 oil and 1 cargo ship was attacked in Strait of Hormuz. 2 of those ships have Maltese and Marshall Island flags, and are owned by Greece and United States. Third one is a Thailand flagship. A total of 13 ships have been targeted since this war started. A U.S.-owned oil tanker was hit yesterday near Iraq's Basra oil terminal. Strait of Hormuz remains choked with 4,000 vessels appear to be locked in Persian Gulf while 500 tankers are waiting outside to pass through. Before the war, roughly 20 million barrels of oil and 30 to 40% of global urea passed through the Strait or Hormuz each day. Iran tells the world to get ready for oil at $200 a barrel while U.S. is to release 172 million barrels of oil from Strategic Petroleum Reserve. 32 countries have voted unanimously to release 400 million barrels of emergency oil reserves due to the unprecedented situation, the International Energy Agency, IEA, has announced. Severe LPG shortage has hit India. Indian businesses say they are struggling to keep operations running as gas supplies are disrupted by the U.S. and Israel's war on Iran. The country meets half of its total gas consumption through imports, much of which comes through the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian officials said that offices and assets of major American tech companies in the Middle East will now be legitimate targets. G7 leaders agreed to examine option of escorting ships to navigate freely in Gulf. French President Emmanuel Macron had convened a call with G7 leaders to discuss the U.S.-Israeli war on Iran and its impact on rising energy prices. U.S. Senator Chris Coons said media reports estimating the Iran war cost to United States $11.3 billion in the first 6 days were roughly accurate. USS Gerald Ford, currently positioned in the Red Sea, caught fire on board triggering emergency response. 2 sailors are reported injured requiring medical treatment. CENTCOM confirmed that fire was extinguished and the ship is operational. Ukraine said 3 of its anti-drone experts have begun working in 3 Gulf states targeted by Iranian drone attacks. Ukraine proposed swapping its interceptors for the expensive air defense missiles that the Gulf is currently using to down Iranian drones. Kyiv uses a mix of cheap drone interceptors and electronic jamming tools to destroy Russian drones. According to a BBC report, British government has allowed U.S. to use its RAF Fairford in southwest of England for defensive purposes. However, according to Al Jazeera report, the base is being used by U.S. for strategic bombings on Iran. The UN Security Council has adopted a resolution demanding a halt to Iran's egregious attack on its Gulf neighbors. Iran says that the resolution is politically motivated and a blatant misuse of the Security Council mandate. The resolution was adopted with 13 votes in favor and none against. Russia and China abstained. More than 9,000 damage insurance claims have been filed in Israel by 11th day of this war. Trump suggests high oil prices are a positive after bragging about low gas prices last month. The United States is the largest oil producer in the world, by far, so when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money, Trump said Thursday on his social media site. It was only last month, in his State of the Union address, that Trump had bragged about cheap gas prices at $2.30 a gallon, a figure that has since soared more than 50% to a national average of $3.60 a gallon, according to AAA. In Lebanon, Israel has hit 3 apartment blocks in central Lebanon second time in a week, killing at least 7. A 5-star hotel at Seaside was also hit, which located in exclusion zone, away from Hezbollah's stronghold. 500 Lebanese civilians have been killed in Lebanon so far by Israel. More than 700,000 Lebanese have been displaced. Iran said that 4 of its diplomats were killed in Lebanon by Israeli airstrikes. In a first joint operation with Hezbollah, Iran has hit more than 50 targets in Israel that includes Israeli military bases in Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Beersheba. Video clips of those attacks and damages are rarely available due to media restrictions in Israel, but Hezbollah sources say that it targeted Advanced Rafale Defense System, an airfield near Hadera, Green Pine Radar System, Iron Dome Radar Array, an airbase near Haifa, military headquarters southwest of Tel Aviv, Haifa Naval Base, and headquarters of Israeli aerospace industries in central Israel. Hezbollah launched drones and rockets in northern Israel while Iranian missiles hitting targets in Tel Aviv. If you found this video independent and informative, then share it, and hit that thumbs up button to help reach it to others. And if you want to see more content like this and support this channel, please consider subscribing.